Now we are.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Good
Yeah, we
morning.
weren't live. Yeah. How you doing?
How is everybody?
How is everybody today? Jamie's not here. She had some sort of appointment this morning.
Oh, okay.
How you doing, SB, Stacia, Kathleen, PJ? Okay. Well, we did have somebody, but something came up and they weren't able to make it this morning. So that's what's going on there. And yeah, so sorry about that. We don't have a speaker unless we have a speaker in the chat. The 9 people in the chat. How's the weather by you? I've been moving around, as you know. So, but I can't seem to get warm anywhere. So it doesn't
No,
matter.
it's we were having a bit of a heat wave today. It's 23. So,
Oh yeah, that is warm.
yeah.
Incredibly hot in that
Yeah.
area.
So,
Hey Jelly, hi Ruth. So yeah. So I saw you in church yesterday. You were in church yesterday?
yeah,
Did
I
you
was
hang
in
for the whole church?
I didn't get to make it through the whole thing, but I did for a good portion of it.
I
And then
I,
I
I
had
thought it was a real good message. I thought it was a real good message.
I just could listen to her talk about anything. She's just a good speaker, I guess.
Yep, I
I
agree.
don't know.
I agree. Somebody was asking if you're going to read your book.
I'm going to read a few pages. I'm thinking maybe late tonight. I haven't decided yet. And it doesn't have to be live per se. I may just do a video and just post it.
So can we talk about that for a second, or you don't
Sure.
want to?
Hey, Toddie, we could talk about anything on here. You know that. It's your
Okay,
show.
so
We talk about everything.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, like, I heard you say that maybe you won't release it, maybe you'll just read it.
Right.
But I think releasing it is going to be really good for you
I think
because
so, but again, I'm the criminal. I'm handcuffed here. I can only do so much. I have restrictions. Unlike Chris Greger, he's free to move. Um, and so publishing the book can be a bad move on my part, I'm being told. But I'm tired of being silenced and I need my truth out there. So nobody said I
okay,
couldn't.
well, okay, so for legal reasons, I wasn't thinking about that. I was only thinking
Oh no, get this.
about
There's no legal reason. It's just they don't want it to, you know, if it gets brought up during his appeal that he didn't get a fair trial because this hate group on Justice for Corey on Facebook, and the grandma wrote a book and he didn't get a fair trial. But I don't see how he's already been tried and convicted. My book coming out now should have no merit to
it
what happened.
doesn't have anything and it's your story. I thought it was a legal thing. I don't care what
No,
people
I'm
think.
so
You got to do
tired of
that for
being
you.
silenced, and that's what
So,
I taught when
yeah,
I
so
say,
I wouldn't give anybody that.
not
I
when I
wouldn't give
say I'm
anybody
being
that.
silenced, that's what I mean. I'm being silenced, still to this
No,
day, and I'm tired of it. I
you're
mean,
always going to have your critics that don't want the story out there
right.
about
And
Chris, but that's not legitimate. I would never let somebody, that wouldn't be an excuse, Rebecca. I mean,
no,
because here's the thing, you want to get that out there. I feel like that's a big thing for
I need
you.
to, yeah, it's like going to be such a weight
And
lifted to
something
get
you
it
feel
out
like
there.
you also owe to Corey. So who do
Yes.
you owe it? So I mean, your love for your grandson should be more than
And,
these
and
people that you
that
don't even know.
Exactly. And I think the people telling me that it's not a good idea right now, I think they're fearful of what might be in the book and about them. And the funny thing is, the people telling me I should wait, I praise them in my book. So I don't know what they're afraid of. The only people that need to be, I don't want to say fearful, but the ones who don't want to read this book and know what's in it are the Gregors, because they know what's going to be in the book and it's all truth. And I know Chris Gregor swears he's going to tell his truth, and his dad swears he's going to tell his truth. Well, where are you? Tell your truth. I want to hear it, because you know what? My truth is all documented. And I don't want to do this on your show, but David Gregor, don't fuck with me. You know what I know. So I'll just leave it at that.
Well, so wait a minute. All right. There's a few things going on. Who who's telling you that this isn't, first of all, hang on. The only people that I would be listening to would be my family if they had my best interest at heart. So if, like, I'm just going to throw this out there, I don't know what's going on, but like if Bree says to you, Mom, it's not the time to do this yet because A, B, C, or D, I would take that under consideration for sure. But if somebody in the comments just said, listen, Grandma, like, why would you even pay attention to what
No,
they're saying?
it's nobody. It's nobody in the family or anything. It's someone who was very involved in the case. Um, they didn't say not to, but they're saying, well, like putting that fear in me that I'm going to screw something up.
I don't want to, I don't know. Talk to your daughter about it, I guess. Talk to somebody. Don't, if it might not be true, but it might be true. So I would find out, because once you do it, you can't take it back. So
Right.
I
But
would try to understand what's the apprehension. And if it seems like it's self-serving for them, then, run it past somebody else. And if that
right.
person's like, listen, you know what I mean?
I spoke to the attorney handling Brianna's civil suit against the state of New Jersey, DCP&P. He didn't give me any reason why I shouldn't publish my book. He had no issues with it. As you know, I mentioned DCP&P in the book, but I don't go into detail because that's going to have to be book number 2, because that's a case that's still not been tried or decided. So, it's not because of anything about DCP&P. This all has to do with, whatever Chris Gregor's appeal is based on, which we're not allowed to know. I've been led to believe that it has something to do with, not just something to do with the social media and, all the attention it got, and him maybe not getting a fair trial because of that. I know his appeal, probably the main focus of his appeal is the 2 cases should have been separated. And then I think it goes on to list these other things, like he didn't get a fair trial because of the Justice Tory group, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm being led to believe that by me publishing a book, somehow it's going to come into play that, see, this is going on and this is why he didn't get a fair trial. But that would be, the trial happened how long ago? My book isn't out yet. So if I publish my book tonight, how did that affect his fair trial? He already had his trial. My book wasn't out. So I don't know what the deal is and why. Maybe someone's just looking out for me. I don't know why I'm being told this by the person that's saying it, but
well, I would I'd put it past the family member and ask that family member what their feeling is and see if you can't get some clarification, because I understand how you can't look at things objectively because it's your grandson. I get that. So that's why I'm saying maybe there's merit in what they're saying, but maybe there's not. Maybe there's self-service in what they're saying as well. I don't know.
In my book, I state in the beginning, this is my story, Corey's story as I know and lived it. I don't, and any facts that I state, I have documents and I always produce them. There'll be photos of certain documents. And, so anything I say has already been out in the public. Do you know what I mean? So why why, if it's out in print, it makes a difference. It's already been said in public. It's already been talked about. So I don't know why. I don't know. I don't get it. But
I wouldn't
you know,
let somebody deter me from something that was so important to me.
right. And Toddy, we talked about this, I think, with people on the show before. Tomorrow is not promised. I could step out into traffic and get hit by a bus, God forbid. Then my book never gets published. I could have a heart attack and drop dead. My book won't get published. I need
Right.
that book to be out there.
Well, then
I
there's
need
your
it,
answer right. Then there's your answer right there.
I know I've made up my mind, but I'm still struggling. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's that little bit of what if I do something that screws. But then I sit and I weigh it out. What could happen? He's already been tried and convicted. My book has
He already
no.
has an appeal that you can't see, and it seems like he benefited with where he's at because you said that he's now moved to a place that
They
gives him
have
more freedom.
programs. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. They've got more freedom. He's got internet. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I
He
don't
can
know
reach
that
us
he has
right now.
full. I no, he can't. I don't think he.
I'm
They have
telling
certain
you
things. Yeah,
that
but I think it's limited internet.
they're able to go on and watch like YouTube videos and things. They're monitored, but they're not monitored 24/7. He could watch something today and make a nasty comment and do some harm, and somebody may not see it for 3 or 4 weeks, what he did. Do you know what I mean?
Is he? He's. I don't believe that. I don't think. I'm not trying to argue, but
No,
I
no, I'm
don't.
just
I
telling you.
think he has limited. I really think he has limited.
I don't think
Um,
he can go on like Facebook or like
I don't think
TikTok.
he can just watch any videos he wants and can comment on any videos. I don't believe that. I think that he's got very limited.
Right. Well,
Um,
those are questions I asked of the advocate that I was speaking with. And she had spoken to the person in charge at the prison that he was
facility,
transferred to. And the
right?
guy told her he does have internet. It is limited, but he can watch like YouTube videos and his whatever his username will appear. He can't hide and do it under anonymous. And it is monitored, but they can't monitor all of them 24/7. That's what we were told.
Yeah.
Because she was outraged when she heard that he could go on the internet at all.
So
She
let
was
me
very
just tell
upset.
you, right? But so let me just tell you that there. So there are certain things that they have like awareness over, for lack of a better term. Like there's certain things that they're blocking.
Mhm.
Okay. And they're specific about what they're blocking, certain hashtags, certain things, certain that. So he might be able to watch things on YouTube, but he can't watch everything he wants to watch on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things that they're going to be blocked. Can they supervise everything? No, because people will always try to find a way to get ahead of the system, right?
Of
So
course.
they'll have to find out something, and then they'll say, "Oh, we got to block this word too now," or "We got to block this too now." There's always going
Right.
to be. I think that. I mean, you told me he went into a place basically that allows programs and stuff. So, you know, not for him, but I was glad to hear. Okay, well, at least they're doing programs in the prisons as
Right.
opposed to sitting there watching fucking movies. But apparently, they're doing both.
Yeah,
So
they got
that's
more
really
freedom.
messed up. That's
Yeah.
totally messed up. But it
But
shouldn't take away from your book. And if you really want
no,
to put the book out there, I think that you'll just put the book out there. And as long as it doesn't screw with your family,
right.
because that's the only thing you owe anything to. I mean, what? So, I mean, here you're going to live with. If I don't put it out, I'm already going to feel this way, right?
Right.
Or and then ultimately, unfortunately, he's going to get out of the joint. And
Yeah.
then you're going to say, well, if I put the book out there when parole came up, maybe, just maybe, he wouldn't have gotten out. I mean, you're going to
Right.
put yourself in that position every time. So you
Right.
have to do with what you feel is right, and what you have to do.
Right. Right. No, I know. And, this is something that for about since he got transferred and stuff, these are conversations that I'd had back and forth with the person that we're supposed to get our information from. And, I just, like, she didn't say you can't or don't. She just said she didn't recommend. So, well, thank you for your recommendation, but I'm going to move forward with what I feel. I mean,
Mhm.
I just
Right,
feel strongly about doing it. And Brianna doesn't have a problem with it. My other daughter, my son, nobody has a problem in my family with me doing it. I mean,
right,
everything's already been said. I just go into a little more detail. And there are other people that are talked about in the book, and I use their first names. I don't use their last names, but, you know, they know who they are. And it's going
right,
to upset a lot of people. It's going to probably cause some issues within relationships of other people when this book comes out, but that's not my problem because these certain people could have helped Corey and they chose not to, so I don't have any loyalty to them.
right.
So yeah, I want to get it out there. And I know I sound spiteful and vengeful, and I guess I kind of am, in a sense. Like, this is my, I just want to, I want the truth out there. I want everyone to be revealed that failed Corey. And I've always said that. And this book is
Right,
going to,
right.
so I don't want to make the show all about me today. So if anybody wants to talk,
No,
I
but I
feel bad.
think that you should get the book out there. Otherwise, it's going to keep bothering you
Yeah.
and keep
And it
bothering
does,
you,
it
bothering you.
stresses me. Like, it's just, I just want to do it. I don't want to wait. I don't, there's going to be a second book based on, Bree's litigation with the state of New Jersey. I mean, I can't write about that right now. I can mention it. I can't go into detail. So there will be a number two. So I think I should get number one out there first.
Yeah, but I think that you got to do it for you. And um, yeah, I think you need to do it for you.
I know.
As long as you're not, spiting somebody in your family,
Not at all. Nope.
so, or, stopping, a case from hurting your daughter's case. Obviously,
Right.
you don't
No,
want.
not at all. Not at
Yeah,
all.
so I really wouldn't let somebody determine anything else.
Right. Exactly.
And you got a lot of love in the comments.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yep.
Very
So
nice.
is there anybody have a story that they want to share up here? Because unfortunately we don't have a speaker this week. Hopefully we'll have one in a couple weeks. Something.
You know,
Um
um, I'll share something. It kind of has to do with addiction. My son Gino obviously passed away from a fentanyl overdose. His girlfriend Lauren came up this weekend to visit, and she lives in Pennsylvania. And we were everybody, just being a family, doing whatever, and
right.
Bria had taken some pictures of Lauren with Eliana, my granddaughter, and you don't see it in as it's happening, during the day, throughout the day. But Bree posted Gino should be here or something when she posted the pictures. So, like, it's weighing on everybody's mind. While Lauren's here, Gino should be here too. We should all be, doing this together,
Right. Right.
and it's like, that shit don't go away. You can't make it go away. Lauren hasn't moved on. She hasn't dated anyone else. I think she's trying, but I think there's something, that's keeping her from moving on with someone else. It's sad. I feel for her. She's young. She should be enjoying life and settling down and maybe getting married, having kids, and she's just on hold. I don't know, I can't speak for her because I mean Gino was my son. I wasn't in the same situation, that they were in together, but I just feel so bad for her.
I
Sad.
I agree. I think people go on when they're ready to go on.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I
guess.
mean? Like
I
I think that people go on when they're ready, and whenever that time is. I'll never forget when I was working with Jean Walsh, who was the grandmother of Adam Walsh. She had lost her grandson, as you know, Adam Walsh, who was found decapitated in
oh,
Hollywood, Florida. He was 6 years old. He was taken out of the department store, and it wasn't by a family member. It was random. But, the Adam Walsh story, John Walsh, the guy who, you know who I'm talking about, right,
oh
Rebecca?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In
So,
Florida.
yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
worked with his grandmother, and I had met her after the horrific tragedy. And she had already lost her husband before Adam had died. And she was only in her late 40s. And I mean, how young that is now when you think, I'm 62. So
Yeah.
I remember she would talk about her husband, Jack, and she showed me a picture of him. And I said to her, "Do you think you'll ever get married again?" And she said, "No, she had the best."
Oh.
And right. And she didn't. She's passed on since.
Mm.
And Betty White, the actress Betty White, who
Yeah,
passed away,
yeah,
and she
yeah.
married Charles Ludden. What was his name? Something like that. The guy
I don't
from
remember the
the Pyramid
husband.
Show or something like that. He was a host of one of those shows. That's how they met.
Oh, okay. I
One of
didn't
those
know
talk
that.
shows. And when he passed away, people said, she asked the same question. And she said, "No, I had the best." So I
Yeah.
I think that it depends on how, you feel. It took me a really, 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 really long time to get past me and Jen. And that was before she passed away. And I was the one that ended the relationship. But it took me
Right.
a good few years
Yeah.
to well, it was more than a few years. I mean, it took me a good few years to start talking to her again, to be honest. And then a
Yeah.
password, Alan Ludden, that was his name. And
Yeah.
then it took several years for me to move forward. So
Mm.
sometimes, it depends on what it is, or sometimes it's just that's the way it goes.
Right.
Depends on what's most important, I think, too. Like, if you, I don't know, I think if you share like a bond with somebody, you're almost afraid like the memories are going to go away or something if you
Right.
have make new ones. And nobody wants that. Nobody who's
Right.
passed on that loves somebody wants to be forgotten. I mean, wants their life to have stopped for somebody else's. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't believe
No,
your
I
son
get
would
it.
have wanted his girlfriend's life to stop because his stopped. I don't believe that.
No, I don't think so either. But I
But
just
she's
feel
got to be
like,
ready.
maybe someday she will, but I don't know. It's just, and when we're all together, we all are, we sometimes we say it out loud, like, oh, Gino would have loved this, or can you imagine Gino if Gino was here or Corey was here. And
Right.
sometimes I feel like, oh, we shouldn't say that because then it brings everybody down. We should just enjoy the moment that we're having. But you can't help but think like, oh, well, if they were here, this would, like every little
Oh, I
thing.
think about that. Yeah, I agree. Like the other day, something happened and it was really positive, and I started crying because I was like, wow, I wish my dad was here for this.
Yeah,
I wish
it's
my
just,
dad would have seen this.
yeah, and
So
that's
I
how
get
we
that.
are, like sitting around the wood burning stove. Oh, Gino would have loved this. He would have kept putting wood on the fire, kept it going. Like Gino would have loved that. Corey would, like it's every day, all day. You cannot help but talk about that person, and I don't know if that ever goes away. I
Oh,
don't know.
I don't think we should ever stop talking about
Right,
the people that mattered in our lives. I
right,
mean, they hold a place for us. I mean, and we hold a place for them.
right.
And
No,
you know, I was I was talking to Kathy, who's a content creator on this on the with the Whitakers, and we
Hmm.
did something on the argument, and we were talking about religion, and she studied like the Bible like for
Hmm.
8 years, just in out, and obviously her interpretation and stuff, and what she came to the realization with, and among many things, so I'm not trying to speak for her,
Hmm.
was, and this stayed within me, was energy. So it's the energy that people have. She said, think about it, Toddie. When people are when they're trying to bring people back to life, what do? They shock them. They literally shock them back to life, right?
Right.
Okay. So she said, so if there's energy, and obviously there is, because something happened today and I thought, oh, this is a perfect example of that. So I was I watched something and it was real, and I said, oh man, you could feel the tension. And I said to myself, a blind man can see the tension in this room, right? The thing I was watching. And I thought, how? Why? That's energy, right? It's got to be an
Mhm.
energy, some sort of vibe that's out there that you could feel without even seeing. So
Right.
it made me go back to the conversation. So what Kathy was saying, and I believe this, is that it there's there obviously not seeing somebody ever again is something that's heartbreaking. And knowing
Right.
that, the milestones that you're missing, and the things that life, that they were cheated out of life, especially at a young age, right? All of that.
Right.
But I do believe the energy is still there. Like, I could still feel I could feel when my dad's around me. He's not around me near as much. And I totally believe, and I do believe this, that the people that leave us and go, that they go to the people that need them the most while still
Mhm.
on earth. And that
Right.
energy is there. Do you ever feel anything like that with Corey? Because I feel it from Jen all the time, and I get these little heart-shaped things that I mean, like, no lie, I have thousands of photos of these weird things that are like anything that looks like a heart. It's really weird. Do you get any kind of anything like that? Any?
I think I mentioned like a week ago, Eliana had picked up this little keychain that used to
Yep.
make noise. And so to me, when it started working again, when she picked it up, because we'd had it at the cemetery and all the weather for years, it sat up there and I brought it home and put it in my shrine. When Eliana picked it up and pushed the button and it worked, to me, that was Corey.
Right.
I don't know. I could be wrong. And Lauren was coming this weekend to stay at my house in my pink room. And I have above the closet, there's a big shelf up high by the ceiling, and I have little things on the shelf. And right before she came, I walk upstairs and I have a light up letter R for Rebecca on the shelf that was laying on my bed. And
Wow.
how did it get
That's
there? It was
weird.
laying on the bed in that pink room that Lauren was going to stay on. And it was just, to me, it was like Gino was screwing with us. He knocked it off the shelf. Why wasn't it on the floor? Why was it laying on the bed? Like I had, and then I'm like, ah, it could have been anything. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe I just wish it was or something. But sometimes I think it is. Like I'm here, I know she's coming. I'm here. I'm in this room, because I have pictures of him and stuff hanging on the wall. And I just, to me, that was like him saying, oh, yeah, I know Lauren's coming or something. I don't know.
Well, I totally believe in stuff like that. And I'm telling you, see, okay, I don't know how to explain it better than, but it's the same type thing. So when I used to write, there were some things that I wrote that I was like, man, all I did was hold the pen. Like, this did not come out of me. I was just
Right.
the vehicle. And and I'm grateful, one, that I've always been able to say that, because there are just things that we can't explain, and we have to be humble to
Right.
accept that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was holding the pen, but I can't claim I wrote that, because
Right.
I don't know where it came from. And if I wouldn't have written it, I would have begged to have written it. You know what I mean? So, um, and I think that that's the way it is. Like, I don't question that. And I think you do a lot of questioning, if I'm going to tell you as a friend. And if I get too much, you tell me, hey, I don't want to do this publicly. But I think you let a lot of people enter your head, and not all of those people are worthy of your time,
Yeah, I
to
know
be
I do
honest
that.
with
I'm
you.
guilty of that. I know it.
And it's only hurting you. It's
Yeah.
only doubting you. And the first time, Rebecca, that you walk away and get used to that uncomfortable feeling. I'm not talking about being rude to people or anything. I'm just saying not
Right.
let somebody uh mess with your destiny, with what you're
Right.
supposed to do, to creep into what's going on with you, because after everything you've been through, there's a brokenness about you, if you will. And
Yeah. Oh, I
people
know.
fucking feed off that shit.
Oh, I know.
People smell blood like sharks, unfortunately.
I
And
know.
if you allow that, they're going to continue doing that. But as soon as you start making decisions for yourself, it's going to be easier the next time, and the
Yeah.
next time, and the next time. And that's what I think you should do for you, because you know what you need to do to make yourself feel better. And
Right.
nobody could ever tell you that, because we should all know that about ourselves. We shouldn't
Right.
let other people be able to determine what makes us feel better.
Right. I gotta say, I think I've grown a lot. You know how I used to go on like the old YouTube videos of Corey's trial, Chris's trial, and it,
Right.
recent comments, and I would get on there and start defending my family and blasting the person that made a negative comment, whatever. So I went on last night, um, because somebody that I used to work with asked me, "Oh, when is that long crime show coming on?" I said, "Oh, it already aired." So I happened to go back to find it to send it to her. And there were some new comments like 16 hours old. And some people were bashing me and my family. And, normally I would jump on and start. And I just read it and thought, that's what they got out of all this. And I didn't comment. I didn't get upset. So to me, I've grown. I've let those people be whatever. It doesn't matter what they say because I know the truth. So I didn't feel the need to get on there and say anything. So to me, I've grown a bit, you know?
Okay, so you want to hear your critical friend here?
Sure.
Okay. I'm glad that that is the case, but I think we all have weak moments.
Hmm.
And had it have been maybe a different moment, you might have had a different reaction. So just
Maybe.
as your friend, be careful,
Yeah.
because I never look me up. Like the things that I've said, and I'm glad I don't, because my God, um, but people send me things, right? So, and I've had a lot of hate, especially over the course of with the Whitaker shit. And
Yeah.
anyway, um, and if you look yourself up, first of all, I don't see the point in looking yourself
Right.
up, to be honest with you, because people are going to say either great things or not great things. Nobody
Right.
really knows who you are. Nobody really knows who you are. So I don't want to believe the hype that I'm great, and I'm not going to buy into the thing that I'm a piece of shit. So I
Right.
figure none of those things are really going to matter to me. Here's the truth. When I got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I went back to church because I
Right.
started getting love bombed. And I was like, oh, this is not good for me. I live alone. There's nobody going to tell me to get back on this floor. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
could live in my head over this shit. And I didn't want to. I needed somebody to hold me accountable. And I was working overnights. There's not a lot of people that I saw on that shift and stuff. So I
Right.
did need to be, and I wanted to remain. So things that you know better than anybody, the things that you do and who you are. And I think those people that really are open to seeing people for who they are, will see you for who you are. They might not agree with everything you say, but
Right.
they would still want what's best for you. Just like I do when I say, hey, listen, let me be a critical friend here. I'm glad that that happened, but maybe on another day, Rebecca, maybe you wouldn't have been so
You're
passive
right.
about
I'm
that.
sure I couldn't agree with you more. You're probably right, but I was just in a, I guess I
And you
wasn't
should, that's a great thing because you didn't always have moments like that. So even if it's a moment that you had like
right.
that, it's more than a moment you had before. So I agree with that. What I'm saying is just be careful because maybe the next time you won't be in that headspace and maybe it
Right.
will trigger you. So that's
Right.
where the friendship thing came in and said, hey, hey, that's great in that moment, but who's to
Yep.
say the next moment? And that's why, you know, it's hard to survive in this world,
It is.
period, whether you're online or you're out in the world just trying to make it in this world with everything that's going on. Shorty Pie, I'm so sorry. She lost her oh,
What?
whoa. Okay.
What?
Oh, well, I hang on. I'm trying to read it too. This isn't recent, right? Shorty Pie, she's saying that her grandpa passed in a car accident.
Oh no.
Carolyn, sorry that you have a horrible toothache. Those are terrible, man. Those are the worst. And the worst dentist, the worst type of medical attention I want is dentist. That's the worst one.
Oh yeah, I just recently
T-Bro,
went.
uh, T-Bro says, every year as a gift when I was a kid, my mom would get me English leather cologne sets. I haven't seen that stuff for years. Oh, you could still buy English leather. I think you can buy English leather probably at I want to say you could probably get it online. Sometimes the dollar stores have it too. Minnesota, do you want to date? Is that what this is about? Do you want to date? Because this isn't a dating show, my friend. So are you gay? Somebody wants to know, I guess, if you're gay, Rebecca.
Me?
Yeah, there's a question on here. Are you gay, Rebecca?
Listen, I've been married to men and dated only men, but listen, if somebody nice comes up, I'm not going to worry about what they got hanging between their legs. If they're good to me and I feel like I'm in that frame of mind, I don't know which way I'd go.
Well, this guy looks like he's one of those, or this person looks like they're one of these from the Space Navy. I don't know if they're
Oh,
from Scientology, Space Navy, or not.
yeah, yeah.
You know
I
why you
mean,
can't see? Hey, listen, hold on one second. SB, you can't see it in the chat, babe, because there's two. I'm sorry about the babe thing. I I know that you know that I didn't mean anything by that. Listen, there's two chats going on, and that person is not on the same chat as you. So there's a chat
oh,
going
yeah, I didn't
on.
see it either. But
Yeah, no, there's a chat. Well, I plugged it. I plugged it for the person. I want them to have the attention.
yeah, no.
They
I
need
mean,
the attention. No, no, no. I just want you to understand there's certain things you're not going to see because
yeah.
unless I'm talking to SB for a second, she's a new moderator, guys, new moderator, SB.
Oh,
And
okay, great.
yeah, and like Janae, somewhere I lost these moderators yesterday. There was some stuff going on, but I got them back. It was me, I think, or somebody else that deleted them.
Yeah.
But anyway, bye Bruce. Have a great day. So I just want to let you know that there's two chats going on.
Oh, okay.
One is on the phone devices and one is on the horizontal devices,
Gotcha.
apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty open-ended question. I mean, I would probably
It
I
was
mean if
directed at me, I'm sure. You know
oh,
that,
yeah,
right?
I mean if it was for me, listen, anything's
No.
possible.
No, it was directed at me. It was to piss me off.
How would that piss you off though? What that
Just
the
to let
people
me
are
know
so
that there's
ignorant.
people just to let me know that there's people in the chat that just to let me know that there's people in the chat that probably aren't welcomed or they need attention. That's why I plugged them, man.
That's
I
so
plugged them.
funny.
So the one and only Mrs. J, guys, Mrs. J is somebody that I do work with at least 3 times a week. At least 3 times a week and we'd go through the Scientology stuff, you know.
Oh,
So yeah. So we've been she's been, man, she's the one that's putting all the work in. I'm just helping her talk about it. She's amazing. You should check her out. Those she and I did she was the first interview I think I ever did. So a couple of years ago, and you know, she came from unfortunately a cult upbringing, and she shares her story online on this channel. I believe it was this channel. It might be the other channel. I don't remember which channel it
right.
was. But yeah, because her family unfortunately, hey Janae, thank you. Her family pretty popular in another part of the world as
Mhm.
a religious icon, more or less. And yeah, so she talked about what it was like growing up in that home. And
Oh,
yeah, so
mm,
yeah, very interesting. So she's all anti-cult, obviously, but so we're covering the anti-Scientology people like Aaron Smith Levin, and well, he's the big one that we're covering right now, big bully.
yeah.
And yeah, and his misogynistic ways and such, and the way he's attacked some women online.
Oh boy.
And yeah, so we've been talking about that. So, and very interesting, and Mrs. J knows more about this stuff than your average bear. So yeah, that's who she be. How you doing, Shay Shay? Anyway, what are you doing over there, sleeping, Rebecca?
Oh no, I had to answer a text real quick for somebody,
Okay, okay.
but I'm good. No, I didn't fall asleep on you.
Yeah.
Um,
What is it that are you eating something? Is there something in your hand? There's something
oh
that
yeah, no,
crackled.
it's I had a
Okay.
hospital bracelet on that I was trying to wrestle off of my wrist, and I finally got it off.
Did you go to
It's
the
driving
hospital?
me crazy.
Did you want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
I'm sure if anybody's interested. I went to the store with Bree yesterday, and we were in the store, and I felt like my vision was just blurry. It wasn't clear, and I just felt like almost like I was going to pass out. But I made it through the store. We weren't there that long, and um, we got in the car, and I just felt even worse. And we made it home. I get home, and I just something wasn't right. I just kept feeling very weak, like I was going to pass out. Um, Sat down to have dinner, thought maybe I just needed to eat. Maybe it was my blood sugar. I checked my blood pressure. It was like 83 over 61.
Wow, that's
That's
low,
very
right?
low for
Low
me.
and high. The other one's high though.
So I
One is low and one is high, right?
no, they're both numbers were low, 83 over 61. So it was pretty low.
Okay.
Both numbers. Usually I'm like 120 over 70 or something. So for me that was low. And I waited around a little bit, and I finally went to the hospital, and I had to get IV fluids and everything. My blood pressure came back up, and um, I take blood pressure medication, but I lost some weight, so I think I probably don't need the medication for blood pressure anymore because my blood pressure is probably normal now because I'm no longer overweight. So I'm going to see my primary doctor this week and determine. I didn't take the blood pressure pill today because I'm afraid, I didn't want it to go too low again. So that was that. But I had a good experience at our emergency room. The nurse was great. Everybody was just so nice, and it was, it's just not a bad experience. And usually it's not great. So anyway, that's that. So I was wrestling that bracelet off. So that was the
So what
crinkling
did
noise.
they say was
Sorry.
wrong? What did they say?
They just didn't really give me an explanation because they gave me IV fluids, and maybe it was dehydration, maybe I'm not drinking enough, maybe I don't need to take the medication, check with your doctor kind of thing. But nothing that I didn't need to be admitted. They did a whole cardiac workup, and all that stuff, checked, yeah, all my blood, everything. I had a chest x-ray. So it wasn't anything that they could explain. And then, of course, they always say it could be your anxiety, you know?
Well, yeah, stress is a killer, man. Stress is a killer.
Yes, I know. I know. So, yeah, that was that. So I'm going to see my own doctor this week and just get rid of that blood pressure medication because I do think I don't need that anymore. And that's it. So yeah, I wasn't eating. I was crinkling that plastic bracelet that they put on that I forgot to cut off, and it was driving me crazy, and I had to get it off. Sorry.
Did they give you a CAT scan?
No, no, we just did chest X-ray, blood work, urine screen, all that kind of stuff. And
So they basically checked you for drugs.
I don't know. I don't know what. Who knows? I think they do that to everybody nowadays, right?
I don't know. I'm reading comments. That the comment about the drugs wasn't that was me, but
Yeah, no, I
somebody
get it.
did ask if you had a CAT scan,
No, they
and
didn't. They didn't just the
yeah,
chest X-ray.
and SB is saying you should be drink water.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
drink
try,
water.
but some days I do better than others with the water. I'm
Well, you should at least have Gatorade or something, Rebecca.
yeah, yeah. But I'm better today and got that damn bracelet off. It was driving me crazy.
Right.
And that's it. I'm just, I don't like
Somebody
to
is
run
saying,
to the
so let me just,
hospital
I want
for
to get right.
everything.
But I know you're not reading reading this because I know that's too small for you. So just so you know,
Yeah.
Kathleen says, happy you're okay. Bouncing Tigger says, take your blood pressure before taking your meds. I bet your weight loss. I don't know what that means. Question mark, question mark. Have you had any weight
Yeah,
loss
I think it has to do with that. Yeah, I
with your
think
weight loss?
because, like I said, I was over 200 pounds and my blood pressure was high. Now
Oh,
I'm not 200 pounds and I think I don't need the medication or maybe less of the medication.
right, right, right. So
So,
she's right. Take
but
your
I didn't
blood
take it
pressure.
today because I was afraid.
Yeah. It's a good thing you had it checked. Could be both. Did they give you a CAT scan? Drink that water.
Hmm.
No, winter air is so drying. Electrolytes. Me too. Hard to get enough. Ugh. I am a ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, that's okay. Somebody with a brain aneurysm is a survivor. I'm always worried about that kind of thing. I understand.
Yeah.
I've had CAT scans, MRIs, everything inside my head. That's something that I fear. And
Yeah.
when my thing happened, SB says I lost 74 pounds and my meds are making me dizzy now.
Yeah.
Shit, I can
Yeah. I
understand
think
that.
doctors need to keep that in mind, that, oh, my patient has lost, whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly exactly because that does make sense. And somebody bouncing Tigger says, well, when you lose weight, your blood pressure gets better
It
sometimes, and
improves,
absolutely,
right?
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does. It makes sense. Yep. Yep, very important. Very important is what they're saying. So, yep, cool beans, cool beans. Um, what else is going on with people? Um,
I said to Brianna yesterday as we were leaving the store and I wasn't feeling great. It just popped into my head how cold it was and it was a little windy. And I said, can you imagine people that have nowhere to go? They're outside living in this, trying to sleep in this cold weather. And Gino, at times, I shared with you during his addiction, he was homeless at times and he would be out
right.
on the street like that. And oh, that kills me. That's such a horrible thought that people actually have to live outside. It's not right.
It's not right. I was talking to somebody. Who was it? Oh, I know who it was. My friend that this is a story. What a story that is. All right. So I was talking to a friend who we lost touch because not anything bad happened or anything. It's actually a really cool story, but I don't want to get into it here. But that's who I was talking to. So we reconnected, I want to say about 3 years ago. And we talk in the mornings usually because she's going to work and I'm usually up.
Mhm.
So that's who I was talking to. And she and I were talking about because now she's in Florida. She was talking about, and it's cold down there right now.
I
Even South
heard.
Florida, it's cold down there. You know, it's
Yeah.
in the 20s and 30s, especially coming from the beach. So, you know, with the wind from the beach coming in. So
Yeah.
she was telling me, she was like, "Oh, I'm over here on Sunrise and 95, which is not the greatest area anyway." And she was
Right.
driving, and she was like, because she drives basically for a living, and she was like, "You wouldn't believe all these homeless people." I said, "I would." She said, "Yeah, but it's really fucking cold, Toddie." And I said, "Man, I get that. I get that. You
Yeah.
know, I see." And because I still get things from my hometown, I still look at like these old videos that come through, but they're new videos now. They're just taking place in an area that used to look different when I lived there. I still go for nostalgia. A tear falls down my face sometimes. It brings back a memory. But we were talking about the malls, and she was saying, yeah, they're going to close down the Galleria, which was a really nice mall in a
I
very
remember the
exclusive area,
Galleria Mall.
right? And right
Yeah.
there, on your way to the beach on shit, what was it? It's the Spanish road. The Spanish, I forget the name of the road that it's on, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
I've been there. I don't know the exact
right, so
location,
a
but I've
very
been there.
exclusive, expensive mall, right? Not a
Mhm.
cheapy mall. So
Yeah.
they had like stores like Lord and Taylor, like the expensive stuff.
Yeah.
And right in that area, you know, is very wealthy, Las Olas Boulevard area, stuff
Uh-huh.
like that, right? So she was telling me, oh man, yeah, the only real mall now is Sawgrass. So Sawgrass is way west.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we don't really have any malls up where I just came from either. Like the malls are closed. The only thing I saw people do was basically walk in the mall. I mean, that's
Right.
what they're doing. And it had a movie theater, which still it has a nice movie theater in there, but that was it.
Yeah.
So um we were sitting there, and I just said, these empty places, these vacant buildings, why aren't they being utilized? Why are there homeless people? Why is that the best we could do? And I'm not saying, listen, to go ahead and help and support people that don't want to help themselves, but to
Right.
give somebody a helping hand for 6 to 8 months and them showing progress and going forward, and then giving them the year to get on their feet. Like, can you imagine the things that we would be capable of in this country if we actually spent time helping as opposed to hurting? Can you imagine? And let me
It's
tell you this, and this is something that I'm sure is just going to be disgusting to people, but yeah, I'm going to say it. So, growing up, when I grew up, and I think when you grew up, because we're about the same age, we used to put our hand over our heart, stand up, and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Every day before school started, it was mandatory. We had to do it. Okay. And you would look around, and the
yeah.
thing that I took pride in the most, I would look at like the people, the Chinese, and they all look the same. The Japanese, they'd all look the same. The English, for the more or less, they all look the same. But when you looked at America, they all look different. We all looked there. There'd be blacks, whites, Native Americans. There,
Yeah.
there was Japanese. There was everybody, and that's what America was. And that's what America was. And I never
Yeah.
had a problem with that. That's I was proud of that. And that shit is
Exactly.
just, it's not, that's something that is so, I don't know where that went. I don't know what
Right.
happened to that, but this country is just like exactly a melting pot.
Right.
Absolutely. And there was nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it.
And I used to say, like, even with Corey, as young as he was, we never, in our house, we didn't say that, that Asian kid or that black kid or whatever. It was just, oh, your friend, or that, like, we didn't say color, we didn't, that's not how we
Right.
are. If people are people. I don't care what
Right.
color they are, where they're from. And, nobody should have to sleep outside. I don't care what their issue is. you know, they shouldn't be outside in this weather. And you're right. We have all these buildings that, somebody
Vacant
moved out.
buildings, these vacant buildings that are,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why we can't try to help
I
as
was
opposed to
told,
hurt.
I have a friend who is very into this homelessness in the Toms River area up here by where Corey's trial was and stuff. And I believe, she'll correct me if I'm wrong if she sees this, but I believe the reason they say they don't use these vacant buildings, it's a liability. And who are they going to get to manage the people in the building? And, blah, blah, blah. It's like there's a million excuses.
First of all, they could get somebody who needs a job and a place to stay.
Right. Let them work within the building to stay.
I mean, it's so stupid. It is just so stupid.
I know. And that's what I say. I drive around and I'm like, wow, this building has been sitting here empty. We have just here where I live, there's an old, they used to call them rest homes, nursing homes, whatever.
Right. Right.
I don't know if it ever went up for sale. I didn't sell, but there's like two of them. So, they already have bedrooms because they were equipped to house, the people that live there. There's probably two beds in each room. There's kitchens set up, commercial kitchens. And why can't we take that and use it for people that are out in this cold weather? I get, oh, we can't hand them things, then they're never going to help themselves. They need that little boost. How do once you're homeless out on the street, nowhere to bathe, nothing to eat, how do you brush yourself off and get back up if somebody doesn't reach a hand out to you?
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And here's where, and I used to be guilty of this. So I just wanted, I used to be guilty of this. I used to say, well, if they don't have family that's willing to help them, that should say something about them. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you got to look at that family and say, oh, wait a minute, it's reversed. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important that we shouldn't blanket statement people. We just shouldn't be that way.
Right. I know. It's just a shame. It's not right. It's never going to change though. I mean, we talk about it, we complain about it. Nothing changes. These people are still homeless. They're out in the cold. Some people are sickly, that are out in the cold. There's people with children. I mean, it's sad. It shouldn't be that way. There's no reason.
There's people who just can't make it on Social Security.
Right.
And I mean, they've worked their whole life. They worked their whole life and was promised something.
Right.
And look, and there's people that served our country.
That's right.
And look.
It's not right.
And I mean, it's absolutely horrific. We have no compassion. Our government, I'm sorry, doesn't appear to have any. So it's really hard on us to, show it. There's so much, as going on. It's absolutely like atrocious what's going on, in my opinion. And
it is. It is. It's ridiculous, but nothing changes.
No, it's gotten worse. So it's changing for the worse, in my opinion. What happened? I can't hear. Wait a minute. Wait, go ahead. Start again, because we lost your sound for a minute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know you guys know I talk about Corey's law. We're trying to get this law passed, and a few weeks back, I had asked if anybody would write to the New Jersey state senators and assemblymen and women, and I think some people did. I personally emailed and called. Guess how many responses I got back from all of the senators and assembly people that I reached out to?
I don't know.
Zero.
Wow. Not even an email.
Nothing. Not even like, we got your email. Thank you. Nothing. And it pisses me off. Listen, I know that Corey's Law is not at the top of the list because, why are we going to save kids, right? From abuse. That's not a priority right now, but it should be. And our homeless people should be priority. There's so many things. But, I say this just being your common person. I don't work in that area. So, of course, to them, they have priority lists, what goes where. And these things don't make the top of the list apparently, and it's sad, it's a shame, it's not right, but it's the world we live in.
Is today the day that people are losing food stamps? That's what
I
Red's
don't
saying in
know.
the
i
comments.
I feel like I read a heading somewhere about there were going to be changes today. I don't know what that means for people, but whatever the changes, I don't know exactly what the changes are that they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. If you know what they are, tell me, Red.
Yeah, if anybody knows, I'd love to know what we're
I
doing to
just
people.
don't understand. Like, there is just no regard for human life or
Nope.
soul um or anything. I just don't understand. Like, this guy, it was bound to happen because everything has a beginning and everything has an end. And great countries were before and great countries will be again. But not everything's fluid, everything moves. And I was thinking about this. When was it? Yesterday. I was thinking about, my God, in my lifetime, look at everything that I've seen.
Yeah.
Look at everything that I've seen in my lifetime. I've seen us have to wait forever for mail to get from the United States to the UK.
Yep.
I've seen where you had to literally be at home to get a phone call,
Yep.
where when the line was busy, people had to wait.
Yeah.
I remember fighting with siblings about using the phone and not wanting to leave because you didn't want to miss a phone call.
Right.
It was before even answering machines and shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
then we had answering machines, and then we had call waiting, and then we had where you could patch your phone to somebody else's, and then we had where you carried your phone with you everywhere you go, and then your
Yeah.
phone became this massive computer, and we didn't have computers. I mean, back when I was introduced to computers, people stood in front of the computer and had the computer work for them. They'd program something and it would go uh, do like 1,000 things. And then now you see that people sit behind the computer screen, and just so much, even with music and
Yeah.
everything we've seen,
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. But the increase of the human spirit that it's cost us is something that was not worth that.
No. No.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sad, but you can't help but think about, when you're out in the cold for a brief second, there are some people that are in it all the time. And, Bree even said, I would just go stand around a Walmart, or I'd go to the hospital, sit in the waiting room. I said, they probably would kick you out at a certain
Mhm.
point. I
Yeah,
mean,
they don't let you go in there. Yeah, they don't want that.
right,
They'll call the cops on you. So
right.
you go to jail. There you
And
get
that's
three
what she
hot
said.
hot.
That's what Bree said.
Three
So
hot,
then I go to jail. At least I'll be warm.
yep, 3 hots in a cot. You ain't gonna starve there. You can have your medical taken care of there as
Yeah.
well. I mean, that's
It's
gonna
just
be the new
sad.
high rises here. That'll be the new high rises here.
Yeah.
They'll just
Yeah.
be jail. Well, everybody's in jail. Can't make it in this world, so that's what happens.
It's
It's
crazy.
it's not even in this world. It's this country, in my opinion, isn't doing anything for the
Mm-mm.
human spirit. But
No.
I watch other countries, and don't tell me that they're paying more in taxes than we are. When I mean, equate the dollar.
No.
They're paying a lot less, and they're paying a lot less for their souls. I mean, there's other countries where if you actually worked 40 hours a week, they'll make sure that you have a safe, warm place to live
Yeah.
and have groceries. Most
Yeah.
other countries do that
Yeah.
aren't third world countries.
It's crazy. I was talking
Assistance
about,
program or SNAP that are taking effect for several states across the country on Sunday, February 1st. So that was yesterday. So
So
yep.
what's happening? It doesn't say. Just
I don't know. She just shared that. I want the 70s and 80s back too. Yeah, I mean, like, so crazy. We had a party line. Old nosy woman always listening in. That's funny, Carolyn. That's funny.
You know, I can remember when we bought our first house. It was in
Where was
90.
that?
It was in New Jersey in
Okay.
Franklin Park. And we paid, it was a townhouse, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. We paid $127,000 for it. And I thought I was a millionaire. Like I was, you know,
How much was it?
127,000.
That's a lot of money. When was that?
And I think it was like 1996. And
Decent amount. Decent amount. Bye, Mrs. J. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that house now sells for close to 500,000. Why? It's the same damn house. You know, go
Inflation,
figure.
yep.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
The world is just it's crazy to think, well, I own that house and I bought it for this. Why is it now, you know, it's just I don't know.
I was watching something from I was actually on YouTube because they have a lot of they're really cool. I was watching what it was like growing up in the 70s. So and they were talking about some of the restaurants and what the prices were, but they hit on what was it? It was a Mustang. Right? Yeah, it was a Mustang. And Mustang was my first car. The first car I ever had was a 1972 Mustang Grand.
Oh,
And
wow.
I got it when I could barely see over the fucking dashboard because the Mustang dashboards are really high and the seats are low because it's a sports car. It was a Mustang Grand. It was a 72. And I had it in like 78, I want to say, or 79. So I was 16, so 79. It wasn't really that much. It wasn't that old of a car. I loved it. And I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, so the commercial was for, I forget what kind of Mustang it was, but it was like $2,760 for a brand new car. And I was like, but how much did you make back then?
Right.
And it went through when the gas lines, remember when the gas lines went up and people were waiting? This was in the late 70s, around 79.
I do remember that. I don't remember.
And they went up to 99 cents. Remember when the gas signs used to only have enough room for 2 digits?
Yeah. And do you remember having to wait in line? And I don't know, it was like
Yes,
odd
I'm telling
even
you.
numbers or something.
Yes, I'm telling yes, I'm telling you.
I
That
was a kid, but I remember it.
79. I think that was 79.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. And how far it jumped up. It was really an interesting video because it talked about how much the cost of living increased in this 1 year. It's not funny. And how much like the pay or the how much the increase on Social Security was, which obviously was a laugh, except for the people that had to suffer through it. Right.
It doesn't equal to the cost of living, that's for sure. I don't know where they do their math at, but it doesn't come out right.
Right. Yeah, it was license plate numbers. You're right, Red.
Yeah, it was odd or even something, right?
Like, yep, it was the license plate numbers. Yep.
I do remember that. I didn't remember exactly what it was. I knew it had something to, I don't know how they got the number, but I guess license plate would make sense. But I was thinking of something else totally off topic. But when I was a kid, I could go in the store at 10 years old and get my mom a pack of cigarettes if she sent me. And sometimes they would require a note from your mom or something.
Right.
Or
they'll call. Right. That happened with me too from my mom.
Yeah, but I saw somebody posted on Facebook the other day. Remember when you could go in with a note for the whatever, for your mom and actually get them? And I do remember that. It was a big deal for a kid to walk in and pick up cigarettes for their mom or dad or whatever. It's just so funny how times have changed, right? Yeah. Or the cigarette machine. Do you remember the vending machine?
Yes, 99 cents, the vending machines. Yep. So 75 cents. I remember when they were even 50-cent cigarettes. But I think that's as low as I remember cigarettes
Yeah.
being 50 cents.
I remember all that stuff. And I know, cigarettes are bad for you. I'm not promoting cigarettes, but man, I miss those times when life was simple, like things were so much easier back then. Or maybe just because I was a kid and I didn't have the stress and stuff that I have now. I don't know, but
I guarantee you it was the same thing, because in 1969, people were worried about things that the kids didn't know about. And now we
yeah,
know.
now we
So
know everything.
1969 was Vietnam War,
Yeah.
right? In 1969 was the missile crises, right? Where we didn't even know about that. So there, and I don't think the American public knew. That stuff has come out later with the Cuban Missile Crisis and how much they thought that we were going to be bombed. And let me tell you something, Florida was going to be the first place to get hit, man, from
Yeah.
Cuba. Come on. So,
Yeah.
but I don't, maybe they felt a tone for that. I didn't. People are talking about jelly shoes. Remember those jelly shoes? I had those
Yes,
jelly shoes.
I remember those.
And
And
wooden shoes. I remember those wooden clogs too.
yeah, and somebody says they remember getting their windshield washed. Yeah, that
Yep.
used to happen at the gas station.
Yep.
Not anymore unless you get out and do it yourself.
Yep. But here's the thing, where you live, they still pump your gas,
They
right?
do. Yes,
And
they do.
that's the only place I know that you can get your gas pumped, and that's
Mhm.
Jersey. So that's
You
it.
know, I actually the other day when I stopped for gas, it was probably like 6 degrees or something, and I tipped the guy. And I know we're not supposed to, and I don't think they're supposed to take the tips. But man, he was standing out there. He was the only one there. There was cars everywhere. It was freezing. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this guy a tip. He can go and get a cup of coffee, whatever. I don't know what he did. It
Right.
doesn't matter what he was doing with the tip, but I just wanted him to know I appreciated him being out there in, the bullshit weather. So,
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I'm sure he appreciated it.
oh,
I
yeah,
think
he
it's
was,
funny.
yeah,
Let
he
me
was
tell you
very
what I
great.
think is kind of ridiculous. When I go through the fast food, and I'm sitting at the fast food, and I'm even at the fast food like drive-through, right?
Right.
And they ask on the thing about leaving a tip.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm
It's one
sorry,
thing.
but I mean, that's not being served. You're doing your job. If I was sitting
Right.
at a table and you were waiting on me like a server, like I've been, okay, but
Then you tip.
basically
Yeah.
you're asking me to pay you extra because you came to work today. I don't
Yeah,
understand
but
that.
I feel the same way, like when you go in to get a coffee and you use your debit card and it wants to know if you want a tip. Well, I walked out of
Yeah,
my car and came in here. What am I? You going to give me a tip? I came in and got the coffee.
right.
I'm not.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah,
I
yeah.
I'm all for if they're bringing it to my table and cleaning up after me and stuff, of course. But I walked in for it. Why
A
am I
lot of
tipping?
times people go to fast food restaurants. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I sort of kind of
No, it's
did.
okay.
Um, um, fast food restaurants, like part of the reason why you go to them is because you can't afford full service restaurants.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, Columbia Record Club, remember that?
Where you get the
8 albums for 1 penny
for
and
a
four
penny?
more
Yeah,
for another penny.
yep.
Yep.
I think we all went into collections for them at one time or another because then you had to buy one, and if you didn't pay for it, they came
In a
after
certain,
you.
you had to buy like 4 or something. Didn't
Yeah,
you have to
some
buy
did.
4 in a certain amount of time or something?
Yeah,
I
I
mean, come
remember
on.
that.
But you couldn't really get in trouble because they were allowing children to do that. Because I did it,
Yes,
I wasn't even 18 years
I
old.
think I was 11 the first time I
Yeah, so
ordered
how
from
can
them.
they can't, that's not a contract.
Nope,
You know what I mean? It's not a
nope.
contract.
That was so cool waiting for them to come. Remember, you'd order it and you'd wait and you wait. Oh gosh, I love it. I miss that stuff.
Sonia,
Yeah.
I worked at a Hess station as a second job. So I pumped gas there because Hess did that. And yeah, I loved working at the gas station. I thought it was fun. I like fast-paced stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because she said I worked at a full service station back in like 1984. I want to say, so I'd have been 21. I probably worked there about that same time at the Hess station And those that don't know, the Hess gas stations, there isn't any anymore, I don't believe. But
I don't know. I haven't seen one. I could
yeah,
tell you that.
so you
Everything's
know the
quick
color,
check and Wawa.
you know the color of Hess gas stations, right? What color?
They're green and white, right?
What color football teams? Green and white.
Is it the Jets?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uncle Leon owned the Jets too.
Oh, wow.
Leon Hess owned the
I didn't
Jets
know
as
that.
well. Yep. We used to call him
Oh,
Uncle Leon only because we worked for him, not because we knew him or anything.
right.
It would always be, we'll tell Uncle Leon. We never saw him, but
Yeah.
that's what
I
we called him.
remember
I don't
the
want people saying Toddie said that Leon
right.
Hess was her uncle. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I remember the Hess trucks. They came out with a new one every Christmas.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, and they came out with the police cars, and
Yeah.
not just that, the motorcycles. They came out with everything. People were I think that you can still get Hess stuff, Hess
I think you
trucks
can order
online.
them somehow. Yeah.
Yes, I think that they continue on. Bell bottoms. Yes, I used elephant ears too. I wore bell bottoms and parachute pants.
Yeah. Parachute pants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah,
all that
yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff.
I think that they still do bouncing Tigger. I think that you could get them. Calling to get the time.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah.
I lived in a small place in Florida. This is true. So this is has anybody, I'm sure you guys have seen the movie Doc Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Doc Hollywood. Okay. I love Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
And I've always reminded my siblings of Michael J. Fox. It didn't matter that
Really?
I'm a girl. They
That's
were
so
like,
funny.
yeah. They're like, hey. Anyway, and I didn't take any insult to it or anything. Maybe the actions at the time, who knows? But so I forgot where I was going with this. I forgot where I was going with this. But it had something to do with Michael J. Fox, I'm pretty sure, or Back to the Future. I don't remember which
You were
one.
saying you lived in a small town, and we were talking about calling for the time.
Oh, yes, right. Thank you. So, and Doc Hollywood.
Right.
So that's what it
Right.
was. So in Doc Hollywood, you know how he finds this little place that he doesn't expect to be connected to, and he moves to where his destination was. I don't want to give out the movie ending.
Yeah.
And then he starts calling back that place for time
Right.
and for temperature. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what Red is saying. So apparently you can still call places, because that happened to me. So I lived in a very small place in Florida, just for a couple years, and I didn't expect to get connected to it, but I did. I got connected to it, and when I left, I would call back and check the weather, just like Michael J. Fox did. So I was talking to Jamie, it was a while ago, and I was like, I used to call back and check that little place for weather, and she said, "Oh, you can do that." They still have it where she lives.
Oh my gosh, that's so
So it
funny.
gives you the time and also does give you the weather, but it's just basically, it's weird. Like, I don't know. It's funny. I think it's funny.
That's cool.
Feathered roach clips hanging from your mirror. Absolutely.
We used to even hang them in our hair. We'd clip them and let them hang down. I'm
Yep.
telling you. Because I didn't
Yeah.
smoke or anything or use one for any other purpose. We would just hang them like off our pocketbook or in our hair or whatever, or in the mirror. Yeah.
I listened to Hammer Time. I'm sorry, I didn't listen to Hammer Time, but I had a pair of black pants that I used to wear, those black pants with like a bright neon blue like silk shirt or satin shirt. I think it was satin shirt. And that was a look with
Yeah.
my collars popped. It's funny. Look at all this stuff. Remember the back. I actually had reached out to Red Valentine, who's a TikTok creator. And we've done some work together before. I reached out to her. I wanted to do a show on the argument about like growing up in, like the 70s and 80s. She grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 70s, and kind of have a conversation like this and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
So shag carpet in your van. Oh, somebody says Price Chopper had Hess trucks this year.
Oh,
So
wow.
Price Chopper's a grocery store in the New York area, I know.
Oh,
Remember
well.
when you used to get a pound of coffee for $1.35?
Oh.
Acid wash jeans, roach clips.
Oh, so many fond memories. I want to go
Tom
back
Brokaw asking, "Do we know where our children are?" I think they still ask that on the
at
news,
10
right?
o'clock.
It
Yeah.
used to be 11. Used to be 11, remember?
Oh, I thought it was 10, but I do remember, it's whatever. Do you know where your children are?
It's
Funny.
funny. Jinx.
Things
Jinx.
have changed.
Yeah, they sure have. And yes, oh yes, big. This was huge. Yes, Catherine O'Hara passed away, and I
Yeah.
was a fan of hers, and I've been meaning to say something about her. I've watched her in obviously Beetlejuice, but I watched her. She's done like in those shows, Best in Show, like the mockumentaries.
Hmm.
She she was also, as we know, the mom in that Christmas movie with
Home
Macaulay
Alone.
Culkin, Home Alone.
Yeah.
She was the
Yeah.
mom in that, but I absolutely loved her
She
in
was
Schitt's
great.
Creek. In
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek, now in Schitt's Creek, the whole wig thing was her idea.
Oh,
Have
wow.
you ever
I
watched
didn't watch that show. I'm not,
the
I know
whole
of
wig
it, but I didn't watch it.
the whole wig thing was her idea, and the accent thing was her idea.
Oh, wow.
That was the only way she was going to do the show, because she said they talked her into doing the pilot, and she said, but I don't want to do the show. And they said, hey, listen, if the show gets picked up, we promise we won't have you, we won't ask you to do the show,
Right.
thinking it wasn't going to get picked up. And then they couldn't find anybody near as good as her, and they begged her, and she said, listen, I got to have fun with this.
Right.
And she said, I'm going to, I want to talk any which way I want. I want to bring in an accent. I want to change my hair every time. So I want wigs. I want to wear weird costumes. And yeah, here, you know what she died from?
I don't.
It came out. So she suffered from this problem that she was born with, where her heart wasn't facing the way it should have faced.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
she had this congenital thing where it was always very hard for her to breathe.
Oh, wow.
And it's something she had struggled with her whole life.
I know
Isn't
I saw there was a
it amazing?
911 call released or something. Is that right? I thought I saw that somewhere that about a person that couldn't breathe or something. That was her. I
I
don't know.
didn't know that. I haven't seen that, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
I don't know where I saw. I didn't listen to the call. I just saw,
Right.
something said.
Yeah. Very sad. But
Yeah, I know.
that's the way. So her whole life, they said, she would have these like coughing fits, and they were so painful because she found it really hard to breathe. It wasn't just her heart, but it's like that whole part of her was born inverted or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's you should look in, it's very unique. Very,
Yeah.
and I really did. I enjoyed her. I thought she was a talent. Another
Yeah.
one, Diane Keaton, broke my heart when she died.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing with people like Catherine O'Hara, who most of her stuff, that I know her from anyway, was comedic, and just like Rob Reiner, and just like Robin Williams. Here's these people that just wanted to make you feel good in
Right.
life, like their bodies of work were to make you laugh and to
Yeah.
take you out of your world and put you into something that you expected from them, and they did a great job providing that, whether it be by a written script, by direction, by acting, by storytelling, whatever. They did their job, and the
Right.
whole time they're basically living with horrible pain that we don't even know about, whether it be
Exactly.
by being afraid of their own son and what they're going through as far as that goes, or
Yeah.
having Lewy body dementia, or having some sort of weird um birth defect that you're
Right.
struggling with your whole life, that you don't know anything about until they're gone.
Yeah. You never know
You
what
know?
somebody's going through. That's a fact.
Exactly. Exactly. So I hope you guys are having a good time with this. Not I mean that wasn't the most popular thing. I don't have any pics of mine in my hammer pants, to be honest with you. I don't. I don't. But I have a question for you. Somebody put this here. It goes for you and me too. Okay.
Mhm.
Rebecca. So here's the question. Um, so Red wrote a couple times that skating was everything. And I remember going to the skating rink. I remember going to the skating rink as a kid, being dropped off, given some money, skating and getting picked up. What about you, Rebecca? You remember that? Did you do that?
I wasn't a good skater. I would get dropped at the movies and go to I must have seen I don't know how many movies. I would see it multiple weekends until the next new movies came out, but we were like movies and mall, that was our thing. I didn't
Okay,
skate.
so I did movies mall, but also I did skating. Now the
Mhm.
skating I did was 4 skates, 2 front, 2 back, not the inline skates, just so
Right,
we're
yeah,
fair.
4 wheels,
So
yeah.
here's
I
the
skate.
question that I want to ask everybody who skated, and I want to see it in the comments. And those people that are coming in late, okay, that are catching on the repeat or replay, what you guys say, I would like to see it as well. During the time you went skating, what was the big song that you were skating to at the time? So mine was Mandy by Barry Manilow. Barry Manilow was huge at the skating rink when I
Yeah,
would go.
wow.
So I want to see in the comments, guys. Okay, so let's see if anybody's got anything to say. The people are communicating in here, but we're behind. I'm behind in here.
Yeah, I can't see it well enough to even.
No, I am behind. Sanford and Son guy died. Yeah, I saw that. Catherine's organs and heart were on the opposite side of her body. That's what it was.
Oh,
Catherine's organs and heart were on the opposite side of her body. Oh, Lamont died. Oh, Lamont from whatchamacallit? Calvin Klein jeans and Jordache, remember? Yes.
oh yeah, all of them. We had so many different designer jeans back in the day.
Me too. Skating on Sundays. Slam books. Me too. Not blades. Okay, what Macaulay Calkins about her, bro? Yeah, he was talking about her. I roller skated professionally growing up, says Bouncing Tigger. Good for you, man. Cool beans.
Wow.
Roller skating, skateboarding. I skateboarded too. Oh,
Yeah.
slam books. I miss that. Skating was a thing. So I want to hear the songs, guys. We had Upskate New York. That's cute.
Oh
Upskate
wow.
as opposed to upstate. I have a lava lamp that I got for Christmas in 1970. Does it still work? I slow skate, laugh out loud. Yep. I skated, but parents made us skate outside. Never went to a skating rink. Never ever. Rapper's Delight. I didn't. Okay. Funky Town. Won't you take me
Oh
to
cool.
Funky Town? We built this city. Very cool. Saturday Night Fever. I remember when the disco phase started coming. I
Mm.
can't remember. Shay says I can't remember. Celebrate. So celebration by that's not the song I was singing. Cool in the Gang.
Yeah.
Celebration. Slam books. What is slam books? Why do
I
I
don't
feel like it's
know.
I don't know. Disco Duck. I remember Disco Duck.
Yeah.
Car wash. I love a rainy night. Okay, YMCA used to be Big Skate. We like to move it, move it. I don't know what that is. I guess it's a song. Casey and the Sunshine Band. Okay, they're from Florida. They used to record. What was the name of that studio right off 95 in North Miami?
Mm.
It was a
I don't
really
know.
exclusive. It was a really nice studio. I can't remember any particular song. Laughing. I remember Laughing. Pinstripe jeans. That must have been a New York thing. I don't remember.
I do.
Pinstripe jeans.
I had I think they were Jordache and they were pinstripe jeans. I remember they were my favorite. I think I wore them almost every day.
Okay. Copacabana at the Oh, my Sharona. There's a lot from the Bee Gees. Come on, feel the noise. Is that the one? 80s mostly music. YMCA, Angel by Madonna. The slam book was a notebook that had questions in it. You would pass it around to your friends, write the answers in your book. And oh, okay. I never,
Oh,
that was
yeah, I'm
before.
not familiar.
Yeah, that must have been after my time. I think so. Who would care? Who would marry? How many kids would you get? Oh, questions like that. Okay. Okay. So I remember the thing that you did with your hands and ask the questions and have that the paper thing that you would
Yeah,
go
I
back
never
and
knew how to
forth
make
with and you
one.
pick the numbers and stuff.
Yeah, I could never make one. I would have somebody make it for me. And then they would pick like four, and you would go one, two, three, four, and then flip it over.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Oh, Carolyn Jackson says that her lava lamp burns every night. Billy Joel, red. So how old were you when you were going? Because I was already around. I don't know how old I was. Actually, I wasn't that old. The Billy Joel song, Lionel Richie, Billy Joel song that first song I ever heard of Billy Joel's that was a big hit was "Love You Just the Way You Are,"
Oh,
and
yeah.
I want to say I was about 13 or 14 when that hit.
Yeah.
So gum wrapper chains. I remember seeing those. I never made one. I'd make the lanyards, the plastic lanyards. Remember those? The 4-box thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Betty Davis eyes. I remember that song. She's got Betty Davis eyes.
Mhm.
ABBA. Now ABBA stands out for me when I was about 12 years old. And Dancing Queen. But ABBA's got so many great hits.
Oh,
Please.
yeah.
Waterloo. Waterloo. Yep.
Yeah.
ABBA was such a happy band, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think they were very happy. I watched a documentary on them not long ago. Jello pudding pops.
Oh,
I did a joke. The first joke. I did stand up comedy, very very short period of time, and I made a joke, and one of the jokes was about Bill Cosby, not any kind of trouble he got into. This was well before, but
uh-huh.
it was about Coke. It was about this Coke, that Coke. Remember when it was the new Coke, the old Coke? Whoa, which Coke is it? And that was me on stage back in the day. Me,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So, um, and the Jello pudding pop. There was a joke about the Jello pudding pop as well. Carly Simon, yeah, absolutely. I love Carly. I was just listening to Tapestry by Carole King just a couple days ago. That's a classic album.
Mm.
I feel the earth move under my feet. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Journey, Don't Stop Believing. I remember Tab soda. I remember Tab. I used to drink
My
Tab.
Aunt Pat used to drink Tab. I'll never forget it.
They just stopped making it. Do you know that? Just
Yeah, I
in the
don't.
past year or two, they just stopped making it.
Yeah, she used to just drink it steadily. I remember we weren't allowed to have it, but she always had one. I'll never forget it.
Carly Simon, which songs? I love Cat Stevens. I was just reading something about Cat Stevens. Fresca. I just saw Fresca the other day at Dollar General, I want to say that they had
Wow.
Fresca.
Yeah.
Somebody says ABBA is great to clean by. Yes, it is. Yes, they are. Costa Cola. We are the world. I remember when that happened, man. I remember when that happened. This was fun going down memory lane, like Carly Simon, Hot Cakes. I
Yeah.
love that album. No Secrets. I love that album.
Yeah.
But I think one of my favorite songs and by her is probably Anticipation. And not be remember when Anticipation used to be the Heinz 57, the Heinz commercial to let the ketchup out of the
Oh,
bottle.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember that? But
I do.
that song is just a really great song. I love that song. So yeah. What's
Oh,
your
listen,
favorite Cat Stevens song, Ready?
I don't even have one. I don't know much about Cat
Cat
Stevens.
Stevens Wild World? Eddie Rabbit. I loved Eddie Money. Amadeus. Somebody said Amadeus. They saw that movie. Remember Amadeus?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Joan Jett. Yep. Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon. You know that song. Yep.
Yeah, who sings that?
Not Cat Stevens.
No,
Cats in the Cradle. It was by oh God. What's his name?
I don't know. It's a good song though.
Alexa, who sings Cats in the Cradle? It's wait, is it like a one hit wonder?
Harry Chapin sings Cats.
Harry Chapin, and he's not a one hit wonder, is he?
No,
Definitely not. Harry Chapin's not. You know who else? Yeah, thank you. You know who else? Hey, Lala, Lala, how you doing? You know who else? Al Stewart, Time Passages. He's great.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Time Passages. I like that whole album, Time Passages. Anyway, that is Cat. What's Cat Stevens? Which one's Cat Stevens? Cat Stevens sings Wild World, not that other song you were talking about. Cat Stevens was very handsome. Sergio Valente, I had those jeans
Yeah,
too.
me too. We had
Sergio
Jordache, Sergio, we had Gloria Vanderbilt. I mean, there were just so many.
Yeah, Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
I wore Calvin Klein and Levi's. But the Levi 501s, it was a totally different look. But I always stuck with my Levi's. I always liked my Levi's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I think that this was fun.
I do.
The first cut is the deepest. That is Cat Stevens. A lot of people think that that's Rod Stewart, but nope.
And Sheryl Crow also made a cover of that song.
Yes, and she did a great job. Jim Croce,
like
Operator and Alligator. And also Jim Croce. I love his Bad Leroy Brown. If is by Bread. If a Picture Paints. Operator. The other one that he did that I really like is Lover's Cross or New York State of Mind. Yeah, or New York's Not My Home. I'm sorry. New York's Not My Home. Yeah. By Stacia. I remember Skids Clothing and Vision Streetwear. I was a skater. Crocodile Rock, Elton John. White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. Yeah, he does sing it, absolutely, but he didn't do it. Love Anything by Bread. I was just watching something about Bread as well. And America. Remember America, Sister Golden Hair? Well, I tried to make it Sunday. I had the Adidas shell shoes and the Chuck Taylors.
Yeah,
I saw Rod Stewart a couple times. Yeah.
Those and Vans. I like both shoes.
Yep. I have a pair of Vans right here.
Yeah.
Yep. The Nights the Lights Went Out in Georgia by Vicki Lawrence. Yep. Time in a Bottle. Yeah, all these great singers. That's great, guys.
Yeah, it was
that's great. I'm glad that this was more of a fun little kind of everywhere you go conversation, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
Me too. Doesn't always have to be a sad topic or,
No, absolutely.
Definitely. I'd like to say that a lot of people that are suffering from, addiction, music is like a release or I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but I know Gino was very into music and I don't know if it's related to the addiction or I couldn't tell you, but he was very talented. He could play guitar, drums. I mean, he recorded. He had like a little recording studio. He was very talented. I don't know if the drugs and music are tied in anyway, but I think music is sometimes it takes you away to maybe a better place for a little bit. but it can do the opposite as well, depending. But anyway.
Happy birthday, Bouncing Tigger. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And we are old, y'all. I love that. Your first concert was Queen. My first concert was Frampton Comes Alive. Tell me I'm not blessed.
Wow.
My very first concert was the Osmonds, to be honest with you. But I was about, I don't know, 6 or 7.
Oh, wow.
But I don't call that my first concert because it was a show. I saw it at the Tropicana. I saw them in the Tropicana.
Oh,
Tropicana
wow.
Hotel. Yeah. So.
Wow.
So.
I think everybody enjoyed how this conversation turned out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I saw Chicago. It was one of my favorite concerts. Kathleen Strickler blew me away. I was like 3 rows from the stage, and I did not expect, and I love Chicago, but I did not expect them to put on a show, and they really did. I mean, it was excellent. And you know who opened for them was, oh no, it wasn't them. I'm sorry. That was David Brenner, and the person that opened for him was the one that was married to Chris Christoph, Rita Coolidge. So yeah, Chicago, I loved Chicago. I'll ask Alexa to do that. Play Eddie Money. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to any concerts as a kid. I took my kids to concerts when they were old enough to go, but I never went to any on my own as a kid.
So you took them, you mean drop them off, or you actually took them?
No, I stayed with them. I wouldn't drop them off. I would stay.
So which concerts, like what did you take them to see?
Probably not anything that you guys would know, but my first was Insane Clown Posse. I took my oldest son and my niece. So
I know that band. I wasn't a fan, but I know that.
Yeah.
I saw David Bowie too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then the next was CKY. It was like skater music. Gino was into that, and I took him to see them. And then I took Bree to see Britney Spears. So, I didn't go to any on my own. I just took my kids, so.
Which one did you enjoy the most when you took them?
I gotta say, CKY they put on a good show, and I took Gino and a bunch of his friends, and I think I enjoyed it because they enjoyed it so much, and I was able to do that for them. Not so much the music, I did, but it was the experience for the kids.
Right.
But Britney Spears put on a good show. She had this big snake, like a big yellow snake around her neck, and live snake. And I have a fear of snakes, so I did have some dreams after about the snake. But other than that, it was a good show.
Right. Yeah, I think back in the day, even in Vegas, I heard she put on a good show.
Yeah.
I've always loved like the dancing in unison, so whether it be the Jackson 5 or the Osmonds, or I always loved them. But then, as I got older and I started liking rock music, I did the Glass Spider tour. I saw that tour. That's the David Bowie tour that I saw, the Glass Spider tour. And there was another one too. I think I saw him twice. I saw Genesis right before they broke up. I saw REO Speedwagon, High Infidelity. That was a huge album for them. So that was an amazing tour. But the best, my first legitimate concert, honestly, Frampton Comes Alive. How could you? I still will listen to that. I still will listen to Frampton Comes Alive, that album, to this day, and picture myself there. It was the first time anybody offered me marijuana. I don't think I'm telling you, I'm not sure I was 10 or 11 years old, man.
Oh my God.
I didn't. I looked around and I was like, no, I don't want to get busted, but I didn't fear it. I didn't fear it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because later I did smoke, but not at that age. I was mad young. But yeah, so I I was probably 11 at the most, right? So maybe I looked 6 or 7 and somebody was handing me.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And I just looked and shook my head. No. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember when my sister and I took our kids to see Insane Clown Posse.
Right.
You know, the kids that were there, we were older, of course, but we took our kids. We didn't want to let them be there alone because, you know, there's drugs and stuff. And,
Right.
you know, and I can never forget this. We went in the bathroom. My sister went with me, and there was this girl slumped over in a stall. Like she was obviously under the influence of something.
Right. Right.
And my sister was like, "Oh my God, like we got to get somebody." And, you know, just it was an experience to see the kids, you know, all under the influence and
Right.
drinking,
Right.
and nobody was doing anything about it. It was like a free for all. And I'm like, thank God we came with our kids, because who knows, you know, what they would have done. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely an experience to see people doing things that like we didn't do, you know, and I don't know. And I remember they had the mosh pit, you know, and if you're standing around it, you may get pushed into it, you know, and it's dangerous.
Right.
People lose
Yeah,
teeth with
because
it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that though. I thought that was kind of cool. That was a cool experience for me as a grown up, as a mom, you know. It's like, oh wow. But yeah, it was just those are memories, you know.
Red, I think you're making that up. I think you're making that up now. I think you're making that up for the last person that you saw in concert, Run DMC. Or
Who,
who was the
me?
one before that? No. I'm talking
Yeah.
about Red.
Oh.
Red. She's saying that she saw. I'd love to see Bob Seger back in the day, man. But anyway, yeah, I'm just reading stuff. New Kids on the Block. People are. I was abusing inmates, apparently, or that's a new band. I got somebody on here pretending that they're going to make up falsities about me. I'd love to see that report, and I'd love to see who said that. Anytime you want to show proof, make sure that it's proof.
Yeah.
Somebody just wants attention here. I want to give them the attention.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, because I abused inmates. You know that about me. That's in my past.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they found me out online. They know my name and everything. Like, so my real name and everything, I guess shows that I have no credibility because I have a real name. Some people, I guess, thought that my parents said, "Oh, let's call her Toddie One Skip."
Oh my
So
gosh.
you know what I'm saying? So now, you know, they got to make up shit about things. I challenge them to find one inmate to say a nasty word about me.
Yeah. Bring some documents, then we'll talk about it.
No, show me the fucking inmates, please.
Yeah, bring
please.
them. Bring them forward.
The inmates, please.
That'll be a good show.
Yeah, show me the inmates. So yeah.
Wow.
These are just people that want attention. I want to make sure that they get attention. We
don't want to leave anybody out.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was a horrible person. You see that in all my videos, how horrible I am.
Yeah, you're just pitiful. You're just awful.
Milli Vanilli, I'm sorry. T-Bro. Thank you. T-Bro, you should ask for your money back.
Oh my God, Milli Vanilli. You want to hear something funny?
Your money back, my friend. Thank you for that. I don't think he paid. If he got it at the Orange County Fair, I don't think he paid a lot, right?
my husband, my first husband, Vito, his friend he was something for Milli Vanilli. He worked, I don't know what he did, but Vito had met them. I remember, and you know, I thought they had a good thing going until they didn't.
Do you want me to remove your comment, Red? Or do you want to go with it? Here you go. I'm sorry. After everything, are you really going to?
Listen, I just said I thought they were great until they weren't. I like them.
Okay, she's doubling down and saying I loved their music. Okay. But whose music was it really? Whose music was it really is the question.
They were entertaining.
Yeah. So I don't know much about them. I don't know much about them. Give it to them, Millie Vanilli. I'm having fun with you, Red. You know that, right? Um, let's see. She's laughing, so I'm glad. Millie Vanilli, but who we want to know who the music really belonged to after all that. That's the thing. Can you listen? You get up on stage and you actually get up there for an hour and a half, and you're lip syncing the whole thing. I know. And T Bro says they lip synced, but I was a kid. I didn't know. And I get that. I get that. Here's the thing, it doesn't really matter, right? Because if you were to hear a Milli Vanilli song, just like any other song, it would take you back to a place in time that would be precious to you.
Right.
It would bring you back. It's a time machine. So even Milli Vanilli is going to be a time machine for people. It could have been the first time they went to a concert with somebody that they fell in love with. Their first kiss could have been. It does. I'll tell you why it matters. Except in a way, you're right. Okay, so I never wanted to sell my songs to have somebody else sing my songs because I always felt like, well, I knew where the emphasis and stuff went on stuff. But there are
Right.
people that just want to sell their songs, and they're fine in doing that. And they might not have the capabilities to get up on stage, and it's more important that their song get out there as opposed to them.
Right.
So, I can understand that. So yeah, that would be true. That would be true. So let's see. People lip sync all the time. Look at J Lo. I'm not a fan of J Lo's. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not.
me neither.
I don't want to play the song because it'll be a copyright strike. That's why. Let me tell you who I'm impressed with. I will after. I promise. I'll ask the thing to play Milli Vanilli. You know who I'm really impressed with as far as the singing, and the musicianship is Justin Bieber. And I
Yeah.
wasn't a fan of his, but I've since listened to him a cappella with like no help at all. And I've watched his process of songwriting, and he writes. I'm not saying he wrote every song, but he definitely he's a virtuoso. He can play like I just saw a video of him playing piano where these people were like cleaning up the hall. So
Yeah.
he was like he had access to it, and it was just he's very, very talented.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
yeah, I like that.
Yep.
I like that. So I think he's extremely talented, and he's got a really good voice. And I think Britney Spears was extremely talented, but I'm not sure that that's what she wanted to do with all of her life. And I think that really messed with her
I
because I
think
think
so
she's a
too.
broken woman today. Totally
Yeah.
broken woman
It's
today.
sad, but yeah, it's really sad what happened with her. I think fame, so young, so much, so fast. It's a lot, you know.
And I don't think her family cares much for her. You
I
know what I'm
think it
saying?
was
Well, I
about what
think
it
Justin
was.
Bieber's mom, I don't know much about his dad, but his mom definitely like fought for her kid. Where
Yeah,
I just feel like Britney was a paycheck for people.
I was gonna say it was about how much she was gonna bring in. That's what I feel
Yeah.
like with her. It's unfortunate. And her little sister was on a TV show and stuff. I mean, she did all right for herself too, but you didn't hear much about her. It was Brittany. Brittany was
Yeah.
the paycheck.
Well, because the sister got pregnant out of marriage, and she was so
Yeah,
young.
she was
They
very
weren't
young.
too happy about that.
Yeah,
She
so they put
wasn't
her in the
totally-
background.
Right. So absolutely. Another one who I think is really talented, and I'm hopeful that she found her way now, was Miley Cyrus. Like
Oh,
I didn't expect her to be so. She's got an amazing voice.
oh my, I was going to say, I just love her. I love her look, everything about her. She's real. She didn't turn into a fake, whatever. I like her.
Yeah.
I remember she was the show Hannah Montana. That was my
Right.
favorite. Bree
Right.
loved that show. And
Right.
yeah, I could see her talent then,
Yep. All right, so we got people saying, okay, this is valid. Justin's mom let him alone with Diddy for days. Was it that? I thought it was Usher, and Usher was turned into the Diddy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did
I think
everybody know what was going on back
nobody
then?
knew what was going on with Diddy back then.
That's what I was going to
And
say. Did they know?
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she got an amazing voice too, Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Lady Gaga. Anyway, guys, this was kind of fun. Fun.
It was. I enjoyed it. Definitely.
Me too.
Glad we did it.
Yeah, I'm ready to say thank you very much. I'm gonna go live today on this channel, I think, with Kathy at about 1:00. We got some stuff to talk about with the Whitakers, and
real quick, about the Whitakers. I know it's not the place. I just had a question.
Nope, that's all right.
Where do they live in West Virginia? What's the town they live in?
It's a place called Odd. ODD.
My cousin lives in West Virginia. She moved there about 3 years ago with my aunt. My aunt had already lived there, and they live in Walton, West Virginia. And I'm like, have you heard of the Whitaker family? They live in Weird, West Virginia. She's like, I've never heard of Weird, West Virginia. I just said a year the town wrong. Now I got to tell her it's Odd, not Weird.
Odd. That's funny though.
I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, she's like, she's heard of the family. And I'm like, yeah, they're from Weird. And she's like,
I can understand when you go from odd to weird.
So
I can.
I wasn't off by much, but yeah.
No. And let me tell you something. It is weird. Anyway.
But I'll have to look for that. You said 1:00?
Yeah, we're gonna go on at 1:00, I think, from this channel. We're speculating on some things, and I got a picture of something. Where's the troll? Red, where's the troll?
Yeah, it was what's the name of the troll? I forgot. Red something, right?
I don't know. She's looking. It could be this person too, because of course I have Whitaker things to say. Hey, I've been talking about let me just say this for these morons that are here. I've been talking about the Whitakers long before AD and Lady K. Go check out my other channel. Been talking about the Whitakers since 2022 when I got a letter from Mark Leda. So I've been talking about them. You're damn right. Now what? You want to come on? You want me to drop a link? You got something to say, Daniel? Daniel Loser?
Yeah.
I love when people just want to, and here's the thing, they want to get on here with an avatar, and that's something they're not going to do. They'll get on here with their face if they've got anything to say.
Right, exactly. And not hide behind,
Right. Rebecca hasn't released her book yet.
No, not yet.
Thank you, Janae. Thank you, Janae. Janae, prayers for you. I know you got something personal going on. I'm not sharing it with anybody, but prayers for Janae, guys, please, if you could just think about it.
Janae, reach out if you need to talk later. I'm around.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, I hope
I appreciate you guys. Yeah. All right. Let me put up a positive comment here. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. No. I just saw her in the comments a second ago. Guys, take care. Thank you, Emma. Yeah, thank you guys. I'm glad. I had a good time. If listen, if we're not gonna, I would rather, if we can't find anything negative to talk about, let's talk about something positive.
I'm just
You
happy
know?
to be talking at all. The topic doesn't matter to me. I'm just glad to be here with all of you. It just
And
makes
listen,
my
I
day.
think a lot of people feel this way. Seriously, I'm not saying it, I'm not calling anybody out, but just showing up for something every week is not a bad thing. It's
No,
not a bad thing.
it's
It makes
honestly, this
you
is,
accountable.
to me, this equals hanging out with friends, having coffee. Like that's what we're doing, and I like it.
Yeah, me
I
too. Me
enjoy it.
too.
But
So
all
here
right,
somebody
well,
says, wait, this is for you, Rebecca.
oh, okay.
Was great fun, Toddie and Rebecca. Hope everyone has a great day. Laugh out loud. I'm from Weird, Oklahoma.
Is that a real town?
I doubt it. I
Oh,
doubt it.
oh, okay. I really didn't mean that in an offensive way when I said it to my cousin.
I
I
don't think
couldn't think of the
anybody
town.
I don't think anybody took it. I don't think anybody took it that way.
But she
I
was
don't think
she's like, I don't know. I'm like, no, it's weird, West Virginia. And she's like, I don't think that's near me. I'm like,
that's
it's
so
so
funny.
funny because she heard of the
So,
family, but I got the town wrong. So, oh well.
all right. Okay, guys, take care. Thank you so much, guys. Be well, and we'll see you on the next one. All right.
Bye. Everyone have
Yeah,
a good
1
week.
p.m. ready. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.
All right.